Hello, church. My head's all cut off. I'll squat down here and you can see my whole head. Aren't you lucky? Hey, I want to show you a few things that I have that live in my office all the time. And these are things that are meaningful to me, and I want to tell you a little bit behind the scenes story of them. And some of them are owned by the church, some of them are owned by me, and I'll just take you through these things. They all have the same theme, and that theme is breaking bread together, communion specifically. So let me show you a few things that we have. This here, I'll draw your attention to this. This is a communion kit that was owned by a pastor many years ago. He went to be with Jesus a lot of years ago. But for years, he took this around, and it's got this little container, and you would put wafers in there. Some of you come from the tradition where you had these wafers, round, flat thing. You'd put it on your tongue. They're intended to have no flavor at all until they're old, and then they taste terrible. And that is there. This is a vial that you would fill up with, in our tradition, it's grape juice. Different traditions, it would be wine, and you would take the cap off, and you would fill all of these little cups. And then each person would take one of these cups, and they would take a wafer, and that pastor and whoever he was with, they would break bread together. They'd have communion together. There's a whole story behind this. I don't have time to tell it to you, but come ask me about the story because it's really cool how I got it. This one is mine. This one I got when I graduated, and it's one that I use very regularly. I also have this little tray, and in the tray, little wafers. Sometimes I'll put crackers or bread or whatever in there, but carry that around. Here are your glass cups. This vial, we'd fill up these cups, and we would have communion together. It's very meaningful to do this with people, you know, sometimes you get a chance to do it with people who have been stuck in a hospital or something like that for a long time. And it's fun. We have it together. Oftentimes there's tears because it is so meaningful. When you're away from communion for a long time, you know, this is something that Jesus said, let's do this together, and let's do this often. And when you get it back and you're able to do it again, it's a wonderful thing. This cup here, if you have come to this church, you might remember having communion from this cup. And this is just one of the methods that we use for communion. It would be full of juice, and you would come up with a piece of bread, and you would dip it in. That's something that a board member and their spouse, or myself and Mandy, we would hold this, and we would have communion together, but also individually with each one of you. This is an old soldier. This one has not been used in a lot of years here at Kindersly Alliance Church, but it used to be used all the time. She's got some battle scars on it. This used to be a cross up on the top, and it stopped being a cross. It broke, and it sort of looks like an arrow now, but this probably got passed by you. If you've been at this church for very many years, this probably went by you down the aisles of chairs, and you would have taken a communion cup out of here, and then you would have had communion together. This is one that we've replaced this with ones that are in better shape, but I just keep this one because I like looking at it and remembering how much community, how much communion happened, how much forgiveness had to happen in order for there to be this communion. These are sort of my communion sets. And the reason I'm showing you all this, of course, is to let you know that we are having communion this Sunday. And I'm inviting you to come and be part of communion. For those of you who are unable to participate, we want you to know that we will be live streaming it at the 10 o'clock service, and you are welcome to participate and encouraged to participate. This is for believers. For those of you who do not believe that Jesus is Lord, feel free to just observe and just wonder what it's all about. Take this time, and I encourage you to pray and ask God, are you real? Are you real? What can hurt by you asking that? And so I would encourage you to do that. For the rest of us, if you're here in the building, we will prepare for you. You do need to sign up. There are 2 services. The first service fills up very quickly. The second service, there's usually still some space left. Usually, we've done it twice. We think there's usually some space left. But first service is at 10. Second service starts at 11:30. I want to invite you to come to partake in communion together, and we will see you on Sunday.